Great teammate, great to have around, all those things, and then like all those programs as a player, as an O-line, can't tell you the amount of times that he's helped us out when we've struggled, or made huge plays for the team to keep us in games or to win games. And so I don't know what else you can ask for.
Is there a sense that you guys are well positioned going forward, but also it's hard to get as far as you guys got this year? Is eventually you have an appreciation for just kind of how close you were to some of them? Do you think that you're more than a younger guy?
Yeah. I think, I don't think you can ever really count on, we'll just do it next year, or like that kind of thing. So I think, certainly, like, it sucks to come up short, and you know the opportunity that you missed out on. But I think that's one of those things, like, we gave everything we had, and you got to come back at it again next year and hope that with increased effort, increased focus, all those things, that you'll push past that.
When he completes that touchdown,
what do we need to do next? What's we're going over time. Like, what needs to happen? What improvements need? Like, I feel like you just kind of, it's really cool, and then you're immediately like, okay, like, this is not finished at all. So,
how did your rapport connection with Kale kind of grow this?
Yeah, it's great. I think we were saying this early on. I really believe we have to just kind of let it organically happen in like a true relationship. So I think it was great. Became closer friends, better teammates, worked better on the field together, all those things. And it comes with reps and joking around the locker room and all those kind of things. And so it's been fun to do, and it's also
just thankful for the opportunities. The last 4 years here, any opportunity I was given, just blessed. Got to play a lot of football here, and whatever the future comes, I'm just excited for, and just I can't be more thankful for what this organization has taught me, and especially these coaches this last year, just that winning edge and what it looks like to truly be destined for success.
Talk about that change that you had, because your first season was marked by your durability, and then things just kind of changed. And to have it turn amid this turnaround for the organization, what does that do? Is it burn a fire to make you find a way to make sure that you're out there more often, or just how does that affect you?
Honestly, I think it's done nothing but grow my mind, grow me as a person, become more of a man, truly. Obviously, it's a lot mentally to go through some of the things that I've dealt with, but I couldn't be more thankful for those situations, and it's taught me a lot of things that I think I'll be able to use going forward and know, where my body's at, where I need to be at to be able to do this game at the highest level, and how I want to always portray that. And so, a lot of, obviously you can look back and be like, the first year, complete positives and everything, you've done. And then kind of after that, you with injuries and stuff like that. But man, it's taught me so much about myself, and I'm just blessed for the opportunities.
You seem to navigate the situation, as difficult as it was, as well as you could. Talk about the support system that the guys provided for you in the O-line room specifically.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, all the guys are supportive. I feel like, there's a lot of guys in those rooms that have been in certain positions like that and are actually on the other side of those situations, to where they see that light and get back in better situations. So, I'm talking to some of those guys that have been around and done this thing for, twice the time I've done it has been very beneficial, and they've always been supportive.
One last one from you. What was your biggest takeaway from the season, either for you or for the team as a whole?
Biggest takeaway. I'd probably just say truly what winning looks like. You know what I mean? From top to bottom, what winning looks like when everybody's on the same goal, same mission, and it believes in that. And I think just based off that can take me down so many different avenues of what I've learned, but that it all kind of ties into that, and has taught me a big lesson.
Team. I've been saying that Chicago deserves a winner, and just hoping that we gave this city something to be proud about. Obviously, we fell short, but you know, it's a lot of. It's very hopeful for this city just based upon the stuff we was able to do this year.
When it comes to personnel, all that, what do you want to take from this season? What was done this season that you guys want to take forward?
I mean, I would just say just the resiliency of the season this year. I mean, we had so many magical wins this year, you know, come from behind victories, rather this, you know, the Cincinnati game, the Green Bay wins, Minnesota. I mean, it's countless amount of games. But, you know, it was special. You know, I think the city felt that. It was a special year. Just appreciative of the guys. You know, everybody came in, worked their behinds off. I mean, we had guys coming back from injury, core muscle surgery, coming back, not being 100% fighting for the guys. So I think everybody recognized how special this was. And, you know, it just kind of sucks we were not able to be able to have, you know, a Monday morning victory Monday and not be able to continue to play.
How much credit does Ben deserve for that, for changing that culture?
No, a ton of credit. Obviously, he's the man in charge, and I think I've said this from day one. Chicago Bears, they got the right guy leading this team. He did a phenomenal job this year. Like I said, I think we all kind of knew when Ben came in as the head coach about his offensive play calling and how good the offense was going to be. But I think just the accountability tone that was set from day one with, you know, the tough training camp that we had, and you know, I think he just did a phenomenal job this year.
What are your expectations for your future with this team? Have you been anywhere to talk to them about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I would love to be back here. You know, when Poles came and got me last year, you know, I had a tough couple years, you know, just personally. But then obviously, just with getting traded and all that stuff and coming here, you know, I wanted to be able to prove that I was still that guy that I always been in my career. And I think I've done that the past couple of years. You know, obviously I just had me with Ben and Poles and all that good stuff. And, you know, I definitely think there's mutual interest for me to be back. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I truly don't have any real control over it. You know, I think with, you know, the success that we all had this season as a team, you know, I think a lot of guys on this team is going to be coveted around this league, honestly. And I think the same way the organization is always going to do what's best for the team, I think I owe that to my family as well, even though, like I said, I think my first option would be come back here to Chicago and kind of finish what we got started this year. Because like I said, I just enjoy this locker room, I enjoy this team, I enjoy being the leader. I enjoy being able to break the huddles down before the games. You know what I'm saying? This is a lot of fun. This is who I am. So, I really enjoyed this season. Like I said, I would love to be back.
What was your biggest takeaway from it all?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway for me was just learning how to be a pro. Obviously, I came in with the knowledge that I knew how, but just going through the season, a lot of learning, just as far as like, you know, the business side of it, and then obviously just getting accustomed to the amount of time I have to prepare, the amount of free time I have, you know, the outside as far as like just like moving up here, getting settled and situated. So learned a lot up here, especially for it being year one. So all I have to say is I have all the knowledge I need going into year two to be successful.
We know this team is close, and I'm assuming the linebacker room is close as well. You guys as a group, though, went through a lot of injuries. How did that bring that group closer together?
Yeah, I mean, we have a great room, you know, from Tremaine to TJ to Noah, Eamon, everybody in there, DeMarco. We have a great room. So for me, just learning from those guys and just being around them helped me out a lot as far as just understanding how they saw the game, and then going out there to perform, and then obviously being close with not only the linebackers but the other position groups as well. So when the injuries came, I mean, it was no drop off. Obviously, you saw DeMarco make a bunch of plays. You saw Eamon go in the game and make plays. Even the short stint that I had to go in the game. So I mean, it was no drop off, and you know, obviously that's a credit to Coach Smith for how he, you know, helped us prepare. But yeah, we all believed in each other, and most importantly, we believed in ourselves. So, you know, whenever the time and opportunity came that we had to go play, we were able to do that.
What was your your impression of Dennis Allen for year one under Dennis Allen?
Yeah, I really appreciate Coach Allen. You know, obviously a great defensive line, but great coach. He has a lot of poise, and that, you know, I feel like that rubs off on us as players. You know, he never panics, just calm, cool, collected, and someone that I appreciate as well. Just, you know, learning from him. I would talk to him and just pick his brain sometimes throughout the season. And obviously we talked a little bit throughout the year as well. So expects a lot out of the players, obviously. But you know that's what a great coach is going to do. So you know, I learned a lot from him.
What is your biggest goal for this offseason to try to improve on? If you had to pinpoint to one thing.
Yeah, well, rehab is number one. Make sure that I'm 100% healthy going into the spring. I mean, I feel like I said before, I learned everything I need to learn as far as how the game goes to be successful in year two. So I'm just looking forward to, you know, doing it all over again and just making a name for myself in the off season, and you know, going into camp, going into the preseason and the regular season, and so on and so forth. So I'm just more so excited, looking forward to the process rather than just results. So.
Pretty similar, honestly. Pretty similar. It's a while, but yeah, disappointment, obviously. You know, saying my appreciation to all the guys and everybody for putting the work to get to this point, but yeah.
Have you had your exit meeting?
I've talked to L, yeah, but I still haven't talked to head man, GM, and some other folks.
What was his message to you? Just about how the season went for you, and think maybe you can work on the off season all that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just obviously making the plays that come to me, making the most of my opportunities. I feel like this season I had way too many opportunities that I left out there on the field, and you know, that's never been the player I feel like I've ever been in my career. So just capitalizing on those opportunities, but you know, I got to go into the off season and put in the work to be able to do those things.
What does your off season look like with the foot? Is there anything in the plans there? Did you rest it for a while?
Yeah, it'll definitely just be rest. You know, I'll be here trying to, you know, get some extra, you know, treatment with the folks, but you know, get some scans, you know, monitor the healing levels and all that. But you know, the season's at the end, so rest.
How was the season for you when you weigh the improvements that you made as a player versus missing a lot of time, and how disruptive that probably was to you?
Yeah, it was definitely, I mean, disappointing. Obviously, I felt like I had a great off season, great training camp coming into the season. Feel like I started off, you know, hot, and being, you know, the player for this team that I need to be. And, you know, with some of those things, felt like it was a hiccup. But at the end of the day, you know, we all play with different injuries and different things that we go through. So I got to step through and proceed to, you know, be a catalyst to this team's success throughout those things. And I don't feel like I did that well enough this season. So at the end of the day, it's going back to the drawing board, trying to look at some things with my routine or maybe my preparation that I can change so I can be the player I need to be for this team.
What do you think you learned about just what it takes to get to this point, to the postseason, and win?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Obviously, you know, it takes a commitment from, you know, everybody in the building every week to come get it done. And, you know, kudos to everybody this year that, you know, did that. I think it was a tremendous buy-in from everybody, and the work that was put in was you know, very, very cool to see, very cool to be a part of. So, you know, and nothing's guaranteed at the end of the day. You still have to go out there and get the job done every single Sunday. That's what I think we're looking forward to do, come back next year.
This roster's going to change, but you're here for a while. So, like, what is it like to be a part of the core of what this team's going to build around going forward?
Yeah, I think it's good. Obviously, we, you know, had a great season. I don't think it was a season that a lot of people predicted us to have, you know, this early with all the changes that we've had. And just kind of like I said, you know, just want to be the best player possible I can be for this team, you know, and give to Chicago, the city of Chicago, and the people that believe in me that brought me here to the player of caliber that I need to be for that.
Well, you said going into the season that the way that you were being coached was very helpful, that it was very clear. There was a lot of murkiness maybe your rookie season. You didn't know if you were doing things the right way. How did you grow and develop as a wide receiver because of the coaching you got this year?
I think it was great. Yeah, I think it was great. Obviously, you know, with Ben and his system and the supporting staff, you know, offense L, all those people were catalysts in, you know, my development as a wide receiver, learning the playbook, understanding, you know, the NFL defenses, and different things that I need to look at to have success on a week in and week out basis. So I feel like it was a very accountability driven as well as detailed and like we talked about all season, that definitely helped me improve.
What about your connection with Caleb? How did that develop this year? You guys are going to be just a major focal point having come in together.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it definitely had its flashes. Like I was saying earlier, I think it definitely was something that was really prominent at the beginning of the season, and then obviously with some of the things I was going through and some of the missed opportunities out there kind of faltered at certain moments. So something that we continue to build on, but just looking at some of the plays Caleb was making out there this season, he definitely will put it out there on the line. So got to be out there and available for him in the best manner.
What did it mean to see the city come alive along you guys?
It was great. It was great. I think the city of Chicago was definitely, yearning for a team like this, a season like this, and with the Cardiac Bears, they did it in a spectacular fashion at times. So, they supported us through thick and thin, and we appreciate that. I think that's something that they can come to expect.
Now that it's over, can you tell us how bad it was trying to play on that foot?
It was rough, man. It was rough. I'm not gonna sit here and say, I can barely. It is what it is. We play through injuries. It's part of the game. I'm not gonna sit here and make excuses about the foot, but it's something I'm told.
You said before no surgeries and still playing.
Yeah.
From in this moment, how do you wrap your mind around those opportunities?
For me, it's just I don't know. Obviously, it's a disappointment. Like I said, looking back on my career, it's never been something that has been a prolific thing for me. I don't think it's going to be something prolific going forward. Like I was saying, I feel like I put in a lot of good work this offseason. I had a great training camp as well. Understanding of the offense and those things. But for me, it just goes back to the work. If those things aren't, coming to fruition, then there's a reason for that. The work I need to put in, or maybe the routine I need to change, or something on those facets to, be out there and be the best player possible. But for me, it's just, healing up my foot and getting back to work.
The way that happened down in the goal line last night on the first drive, what happened on that one?
Yeah, I think I just missed the opportunity. Really, the ball was coming in. Trying to, make a play on it, just the ball wrong and didn't handle it.
Is that what's weighing on you right now? We're around here all the time, and it just seems like you're kind of feeling it today.
Yeah, for me personally, it's just obviously individual-wise, wasn't the season I wanted to have. And, when the season comes to an end, a lot of those emotions kind of come, flushing through. But for me, it's just, it really hurts just not, being coming through in some of those moments throughout the whole season. It's just not just last night. It's, several different plays, and not to say I didn't, help this team. I'm not going to sit here and say, I drove us down on the reason. It's not the attitude that I have. But when I'm not making the plays that I feel like I can make and being the player that I feel like I am in this league, it's disappointing. Not only for myself and my individual goals, but for my teammates, the guys who I play with, I go to war with every week. So, yeah.
A couple more guys that was created. How do you guys keep that?
I think it's easy. We got a good group of men in this locker room. Obviously, the team's going to be a little bit different next year. That's kind of how it always goes. But, we're going to have Ben, or we'll have Caleb, have some of our core guys, have some new additions, some rookies come in. But I think that's just the type of men that we have in this locker room, and kudos to the GM and all that staff for bringing the type of guys that he does in, because the buy-in really isn't something that is a question, at least through my first 2 seasons here, even last year. So I think it's just going to, continue. Obviously, you kind of got to reset, don't let this season, all the lessons that we've learned this season, or the wins in the essence get to our head. Understand that next year, nothing is guaranteed. We got to get it again.
With a new coach, you never exactly know how to. What do you learn about this?
Honestly, I feel like I've learned, from the first time he stepped into the building and who he was, I learned who he was, and he's been consistent throughout, you know, the entire season. You know, with his goal for us and with his determination and how he leads and where he wants his organization to go, he's been, you know, super consistent in that fact. So I think that's something that, honestly, it's a great thing. You know, it hasn't been something that you have to continue to, like, try and judge or fill out from the day he stepped in. He wants his organization to be great, and he leads by example and boldly, and that's